Yo, what it do, everybody? Your favorite anti-hero, back with another video. For those that don't know me, I am the Pepperoni, and here, I don't typically like to throw shade, but I do enjoy sprinkling pepper. Because I care. It's time for book review number 7, and today, we'll be talking about The Lumberjack, by the author Eric Martin Whelan. I think it's pronounced Willen. I'm going to go with that. Now, this book is a little bit on the longer side. It comes in at 388 pages. And part of that is because this book actually has a prologue and an epilogue, which I haven't seen so far on this channel. So this is the first one for that. So that's cool. On the back, it specifically says that this is a thriller slash suspense novel. And this is further confirmed by phrases like here at the top where it says, "Be ready to fear him." And right here, the subtitle saying, "A novel of suspense." Then if one simply looks at the cover, which is really good in my opinion, I really like the cover, you've got this ominous character kind of walking in what appears to be some fog in the woods. He's got a little axe there. However, that's a little misleading. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this book had some issues with tone. I don't know if this author took some pointers from R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps books, who believes that you should add laughter with screams, mix comedy with spooky horror. I don't know. But this book has a lot of jokes in it. And I don't know. Perhaps instead of a creepy guy with an axe, it should have been a guy jumping in the air and doing like a heel clicker. I don't know. But the jokes aside, there is some suspense elements to it. There's some spookier elements to it, and if you're into the more spooky kind of books with violent scenes, then certainly you probably could like this. The main character of this book apparently is a young woman by the name of Christina Dawn. Now, Christina Dawn is a, probably like a B or C list actor from Hollywood. She's done a couple movies, and her career's kind of starting to slouch, and she's wanting to try to get away from the fast lane lifestyle of Hollywood and Los Angeles, and decides to go away and try to find a more calm and quiet life. The book doesn't specifically say what state it takes place in, but there is a fictional town called Skull Creek where the main character, Christina Dawn, goes to, and that's pretty much where the whole story takes place. The character, Christina, is not necessarily dingy, but she is very clumsy. She falls down a lot, sometimes in situations that a reader might think is kind of out of place, off-putting, mood-killing. I don't know. But she does fall a lot. And she's, I don't know, kind of ignorant to certain things that people who live out in the countryside might just know naturally. But hey, she don't come from the countryside. She comes from the inner cities, and that's to be expected. There are scenes in this book that show Christina as being, courageous, real bold and a strong female character. So if you really want to see characters like that in books, certainly consider checking this out. While Christina is there, not to be confused with here, in Skull Creek, She's trying to live just a normal, quiet life. However, every possible thing that could go wrong in this town and the surrounding area is. Like, all hell is just breaking loose. People are just dying and being massacred, and there's riots and fucking animal stampedes and forest fires, and massive car wrecks and just absolute chaos. Meanwhile, Christina is just trying to, live her normal life and just, have sex with some stranger guy that she just met named Robert. Uh, but then, of course, she then tries to chastise her friend Tammy for having sex with lots of strangers. It's kind of hypocritical. But hey, perhaps it's just a character flaw. Everybody's got character flaws. And of course, then they go on talking about dildos and lesbian sex and using cucumbers as dildos if you don't have a dildo. Um, yeah. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening in this book, there's actually a story that is slowly stirring. You see, there is a villainous character, one might argue the antagonist of the story. He is instigating a conflict with the local police department because he is on a quest to find this individual. There's a person in the town of Skull Creek that this antagonist wants to kill. He's been hunting for him for 50 years, and he's finally found him. Problem is, he works for the police department. And so a really interesting cat and mouse battle begins to unfold as this villainous character and the police are hunting one another. Now, this villainous character, he has, well, assumed the the disguise of a lumberjack, as referenced on the cover. But you could just call him the Beast, or you could call him Nero, or you could call him Tarbin Nero Hammond, or you could just call him Ted Haglund, because I mean, the narrator can't figure out which fucking name to call the guy, so why the hell should we pick one? We just call him anything we want. Lumberjack, we'll just call him Jack. Jack the fucking killer. How about that? That's original. So Jack the killer, he he's a serial killer. In fact, it says in the book that he has killed thousands of people. I mean, he is vicious, ferocious. He also cries over dead kittens and dead baby dolphins. But don't let that fool you, because you see the thing about Jack the Killer is well, he's a genocidal maniac. You see, Jack the Killer was he kind of grew up off the grid, if you will, and was brainwashed from a young age by some really toxic masculine individuals. And you could argue he's a bit of an incel or possibly an eco fascist. I don't know. One thing that can't be denied, however, is the fact that he is a servant of Mother Earth. That's right. He wants to eradicate all of humanity to save the Earth. And boy, I'll tell you, this guy, this killer that I call Jack, he's a brute, man. I mean, he has immense strength, advanced strength. It's only enhanced by the fact that he also has a personally made exoskeleton This guy handcrafted this thing out of high-tech titanium alloy. And hell, he's even cloaked it with the fur of a bear, even equipping it with matching razor sharp claws. This dude can just rip people to shreds. I don't know how he built it, but it's really fucking impressive. This guy also has an obsession with listening to like classical music and sipping wine and eating salad like some rich, snobby, pompous ass. Um, but hey, I mean, this dude is fucking as backwoods as it gets. I mean, yeah, he's quite articulate. He's got a quite extensive lexicon and deep understanding of uh, how society works and modern technology. But this guy is cut from an entirely different cloth than all of humanity. In fact, this incel has evolved to a higher species than even humanity. I mean, this guy is an alpha above all alphas. He is the alpha of the entire animal kingdom. When he shows up, all of nature just goes silent. There's not a predator in the woods that would dare show their teeth to him. This guy controls all of nature at will. Even just leading a whole pack of wolves. Over 100 wolves. They just march single file for him. I mean, they take his orders. His control over nature is scary. Be ready to fear him, because he controls everything. Except for humans, apparently. I guess, like, humans aren't a part of nature. Like, they're not just creatures that slowly evolved from prehistoric primates over millions of years. Maybe this book endorses the creation theory? I don't know. But anyway, there's enough about the antagonist. Let's talk about the protagonist. That chick I mentioned, at the beginning of the video. Anyway, back to her. While all that exciting, the violence of this evil guy combating against the cops and hunting each other, and meanwhile, the protagonist, she's still living her life. She finds out that her guards are gay, so that's cool. She did not know that. So yeah, they're gay. Meanwhile, back with the antagonist, he actually eventually kidnaps some people, and he kind of likes to emulate the character Dexter from the show Dexter. I mean, it actually says it in the book. It's the only show he likes. And he basically just copies him. He likes to torture people. But he's not a sadist. He doesn't get off to other people's pain. But he does enjoy, cutting people's ears off and torturing them. Enough about the antagonist. Back to the protagonist. Anyway, the lead of the story, Christina, she goes shopping and she gets some cute clothes because she's gonna go to this nice little hoedown kind of party kind of thing. It's actually a fair, is what it is. It's a big fair event that happens. She's really excited about it. She actually has her friend Tammy come in from the big city, and they get to hang out and they do some girl stuff. They get to go and drink a little bit, and yeah, they have a good time. Just girl time. Meanwhile, the sheriff of the town, a guy named Carlos, is hot on the heels. He's following the clues, and he believes that he has narrowed it down. He believes that this evil beast is real, and he's gonna catch him. And so he has to go off, and we follow him, and he's finding clues, and he's talking to people. He's really, really gonna get him. But enough about all that. Anyway, back to the lead of the story. Christina, she's hanging out with her friend. She gets a new car. That's nice. and they actually use that. It's a truck, by the way. They use this truck to go whitewater rafting. Her and some friends and this stranger that she's trying to fuck named Robert. Yeah, they have a good time. They get a big gang together. They go up top. And they got some big old inflatable rafts, and they're gonna go make some memories. Now, eventually, before the book ends, there is an inciting incident, and once that happens, whoa, now things are gonna get real because this little character we've been following, trying to live her normal life, Christina, she's now going to be pitted against this lethal killing machine. This guy with a high tech titanium alloy exoskeleton disguised as a bear suit with fucking claws, and he can control nature, and he's killed thousands of people. He's now got one last obstacle: Christina Dawn. How on earth could she possibly stop this guy? Well, I'm not going to spoil it here. I want you to go and buy the book yourself. But I will give you two hints. One, there is a incredibly crucial phone call made to the President of the United States. The second, she gets aid from a private attorney by the name of Mr. Tom, spelled Thom, Wells Billing. Or you could just call him Thomas Billing. Or you could call him Thomas. Or you could just call him Tom, but this time spell it Tom. I mean, fuck, I don't know, man. Narrator can't figure out how they want to spell the name or what name you want to go with. So fuck it, we'll just give this guy our own damn name too. We'll just call him fucking John. How about that? John the fucking attorney. So she calls John the attorney and he fucking helps. How about that? So yeah, this book's really interesting. Yeah, you should go to Amazon.com today and you should purchase The Lumberjack, a novel of suspense by the author Eric Martin Willen. Bye.